Hi guys, today my video is gonna be on like all the fights that I had in my lifetime, well in my 17 years of life. So I'm gonna be telling you guys basically about all the fights that I had and all the fucking crazy shit that's happened to me. So I'm gonna start off with when I was like 6 years old. It was picture day. I remember I had this plaid shirt on, I had my chain. I used to love wearing chains. So I was walking to school. I went to school 20 in Elizabeth, and I used to live right across the street. So I'm walking over, and this little black girl done come, and she grabbed me by my shirt for no reason. I don't even know why she hit me that day. She grabbed me by my shirt, right? And she slammed me against the fence. I didn't even do nothing. I just ran across the street because my house was across the street crying, and I didn't even get to take my fucking picture that day. I was just so upset. That would broke. I wasn't even mad that she hit me. I was mad that I didn't get to take my picture. There was a fight when I was like 8 years old. I used to go out with this girl, and her name was China. Shout out to China. I think she still lives in Elizabeth. I'm not sure. Well, my brothers and sisters still know her brothers and sisters, but I haven't seen her like since I was like 8, 7 years old. But I remember one day I used to love playing with dirt. So I'm sitting outside, and she's playing with the dirt, but I'm putting dirt in her hair, and I just keep on putting dirt and dirt, and she turns around and she chases me. So like I go to run inside the house, and as soon as I open the door, she done grabbed me by my legs, dragged me outside, and she beat me up. Like I don't know what was wrong with me. Like everyone used to beat me up when I was younger, and then after that, like we were still boyfriend and girlfriend. It was just a little quick beat up that she gave me, but it was okay because we went outside. So then that's when I used to live in front of School 20 on Magnolia Street. Then I moved to Washington Ave, and I lived there for 6 years. But during them 6 years, so many things happened, bro. There was a time that there was this boy named Justin. But this boy always used to want to fight me. I fought that boy 4 times, and I beat him up every single time. I beat him up in front of my house. I beat him up in the parking lot. I beat him up in the park. And I beat him up in front of his own house. Like, he just wanted to fight me so much. Well, I still know his sister, but I haven't seen that boy since, like, 7, 8 years. But yeah, like, he will always want to fight me, and I will always fight him. Like, I wasn't scared to fight him. Though, like, once I got older, I learned how to fight, so I would always defend myself. Okay, then there was a time that this boy named Justin Maldonado, he wanted to fight me, and I was walking with my cousin, and we would, like, always argue with each other. So I'm walking with my cousin home, and he's still, like, he was popping shit about me. Like, he did not want to be quiet. So I started to cry because I got frustrated. So once I got to the front of my house, my mom is out the window looking at me cry. And she's like, Mark, what the fuck is wrong? And I'm like, Ma, like, he's talking about me, and, like, I'm upset. She's like, if you don't beat that boy's ass, I'm gonna go downstairs, and I'm gonna whip your ass. So that's when I just told I was like, Justin, come over here. And when he came, I punched him in his face, and he grabbed me by my legs, like, to try to slam me, and I grabbed him to, like, one of the telephone poles. So I'm like this, grabbing onto the pole while he's grabbing me by my legs. And I'm just punching him, but I'm crying. And I'm like, look, baby, look. Because I didn't want to get my ass beat by my mom. So I was like, you know what, I got to fight this boy. And that was I think one of the most funniest fights that I ever freaking had. Then there was this other fight that I had, and it was with a girl. But, like, raised up, my mom always taught me not to hit girls, so I was never the type to, like, hit girls. I didn't like that shit. Like, that's the way my mom raised me. She raised me as that type of boy, never to lay hands on a lady. Like, that's not a man characteristic to hit a lady. But this bitch, so I'm just standing there. I still know this girl, too, to this day. I'm standing, like, in the middle of the street playing with my friends. And meanwhile, I was, like, 8, 9 years old, and this girl's like 14. So she comes, like, walking on the thing, and she just punches me in my face, like, out of nowhere. So my reaction was, alright, she punched me, so now I gotta beat her ass up. So I grabbed her by her hair. Her hair used to be, like, under her butt. So, yo, I grabbed this girl by her hair, and I swung her and slammed her against this hill. There used to be this hill that was of dirt. So I slammed her against her, and I jumped on top of her, and I was punching her. And, like, she had her earrings, and when I went to, like, grab her by her hair, my hand went through her earring, and I ripped her earlobe, like, And then that's when after I beat her up, I told her, I was like, that's what you get. Like, you should have never laid your hands on me. I didn't even do nothing to you. She was like, I'm gonna get my mother on you. I'm like, all right, bitch, go ahead, get your mother. Like, I don't have a mother. Like, I don't got 2 sisters at home. So then her mother came out, and my mom and my 2 sisters came out, and then my mom was like, what's the problem? And then the girl's mom was like, oh, your son hit my daughter. And my mom was like, because your daughter punched him, so she should have never laid her hands on him. That's what she get. And that's it. They didn't even fight. Because she should have never laid her hands on me. I know you're never supposed to hit a girl, but bruh, she punched me hard as fuck. So I retaliated, and I beat her up. So then there's this kid that when I got to 6th grade, he used to always freaking mess with me. And one day I'm sitting with my friend, and he's like, oh, where you're from? And she starts saying, she's like, oh, she's from Cuba. I'm like, no, girl, say you're from your mother's hoo-ha. Like, that's where you from. Like, you came from her. And then he's like, oh, where you come, faggot land? And I'm like, oh, where you come from, donut land? Because he was chubby. So he gets up thinking I'm not going to retaliate. So as soon as he get up, he jump at me, and I move back, and he's like, oh, why you jumping? Why you jumping? And I'm like, oh, you jumping? And I socked the shit out of him right there and then, and he put his head like this, and I was wrecking his shit, and I grabbed him, and I slammed him right through the 2 desks. And that's when, like, in grabbing him, I twisted my nail back. So I still like fucking did that shit. I slammed his ass, and I got on top of him, and the security guard like ran into the room and swooped my ass up and brought me against the wall and was like, stop, don't do this. And I'm just looking at him, I'm like, damn, bro, he just broke my nail, bro. So, like, a month later, this boy, right, the boy that I beat up, he done got his sister to come fight me. Meanwhile, I'm in 6th grade, and his sister's like in motherfucking 8th grade, and the bitch is like fucking John Cena's height, like she's tall as hell. But so I'm walking outside, and she's looking at me, and I'm like, yo, what you looking at? She's like, the bitch, like, yo, she exploded. She's like, I'll fuck you up. You're a fucking 6th grader, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, what you gonna do about it? I was like, I don't care, I'm a 6th grader, blah, blah. And then the mother had the audacity to follow me across the street, get in my face, and was like, my daughter gonna beat you up. And I'm like, ma'am, I do not want to fight your daughter. Please don't do this. I don't want to beat her up. No. And then the daughter comes, and then I turn around, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna argue with this old-ass lady thinking she's 13 or something. And I start to walk around, and when I'm walking around, everyone's like, Mark, turn around. That's when that big-ass daughter of hers is coming, and she's chasing me. She grabbed me by my hair, because at that time my hair was like up to here. So she grabbed my hair and started swinging me in the middle of the street. And I grabbed her too, and we swinging, and we slammed right into a car. And she lost grip of my hair. And I started to punch her right in her fucking head, like boom, boom, boom. And that's when the mother jumped in and grabbed me from the back of my hair. But I didn't want to let the daughter go, so I was still hitting her. That's when the brother jumped in, the little fat ass brother that I beat up already. He jumped in, and he started to kick me. So like I was kicking, I was swinging, I was getting my hair pulled, but I was still doing it. So that's when the principal came, and he jumped right between us. So like I was on this side and she was on that side. And I had her hair between his legs, and they're like, Mark, let go. I'm like, nah, these motherfuckers wanted to jump me. And I started pulling that, yo, I was wrecking her. Like she lost a chunk of hair that day, because I was pulling the shit out of hair. And that's when they finally let us go, and they ran, and I didn't have not one scratch. Like, that was the only time I ever got jumped, but come on, that wasn't even a jump. Because I did not leave with no scratches, no fucking black and blues, no nothing. A couple of strands fell out my hair, but that's it. My hair naturally fall out. Like, they didn't leave me not one motherfucking thing on my face or anything. So, you already know. Niggas popping. These helped me out that day. I had many more fights after that and before that, but I just wanted to give you guys my most memorable fights that I had. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Comment, like, subscribe, guys, and tell people about my video, tell people about my channel, and view. Thank you guys, love you guys, and thanks for your support.